Is this live? This is live. Okay, welcome everybody to my Dragon Knight video. So Magicka DK is a class that people keep saying is unplayable, and I've been playing this build on stream. I have adjusted it quite a few times. It did take some practice and honesty. I can understand why people found the class hard, but with enough timing on the build, enough concentration on champion points, this really is effective. I've got some seriously nice clips already. I've only played this for 4 days, and Dragon Knight altogether, that is, not just this build. I've only played the DK for 4 days, and I've already had 2 really nice 1vx clips. I'm going to build them up, make a really nice montage with them. But first of all, we're going to go on to the sets we're using. So we are using 5 Seducer. This is mostly light. We're running 5 light, 1 medium, 1 heavy. So you want the medium on the legs, the heavy on the chest, then we have light sash, light boots, and light gloves. We're in-pen on absolutely everything. And we're running triglyphs on everything. I want to maximize my resource pools. Some people would say triglyphs on the small pieces is a waste, but in my opinion, I would say that triglyphs are kind of good on a DK. I really want to maximize my pool, basically, and I have no Magicka problems at all, so I think this is fine. Running 3 willpower, all of it is spell damage for the extra damage, and we're running 2 Torax packed on the one-hand shield bar for the extra damage. On the off bar, I have a Maelstrom Resto Staff. Now, this actually isn't optimal. Even though it's V14, if you have a Master Staff, I think it's kind of nice there, because that spell crit becomes fairly irrelevant. You get a lot of extra Magicka on the Master Staff. It's like 1.4k or something with infused, and next patch it will come out in V16, so I will probably run the same build unless something really catches my eye. I will probably run the same build with a Master Staff after I farm that. Finally, we have 2-piece Bloodspawn. Again, these are Triglyph Enchanted Impen. I haven't got the Impen helmet. You can only get that from the vendor, so instead you probably want to go Sturdy here rather than Infused. I think the block cost reduction from Sturdy is excellent. I think it's a very underestimated trait. So here's some of the little more complicated things. Traits. My sword is not sharpened. I have plenty of penetration anyway because I'm using light armor. And honestly, I believe in an outnumbered situation, there's people who are going to laugh at it, people are going to say it's bad. I honestly believe defending is the way to go. My resistances are really incredible. I think it's brilliant on one-handed shield. And on the shield, you want to go reinforced. That's a stone cold fact. Reinforced is the best. I'll explain that when I go on to the champion points. For our food, we're just running Tri-Food. And for our weapon enchant, we are going with a spell damage enchant. Our Mundus, if we go on to that, is the action act for the recovery, and we are a vampire for the extra recovery from that. It does also give us an off ulti, but honestly, I don't use that much. Mostly, I can make it to my banner, which is my main ulti. But I'll come on to skills in a sec. So next, we go on to the stats. This is obviously unbuffed. I'll tell you what they will go up to buff. We got 35k Magicka, 25k health, 18.5k stamina, 1.4k to 1.5k magic recovery. Now, you don't have to worry about it too much. Battle Roar will sustain you pretty good, and 700 stamina recovery. Again, Battle Roar deals with that fine, and Igneous Shield is going to give us a lot of stamina back. Our resistances, unbuffed, 21k and 15 to 16k. If we buff that up real quick, this is without the Bloodspawn proc, that will give us another 6 to 7k. 26.5k spell resist, 21k physical resist. If we get the Bloodspawn proc, both of them are basically capped. So honestly, heavy armor becomes irrelevant at that point. You might as well take the penetration of the light armor. When we buff this spell damage up, it's currently 2.2k. When we buff that up, we can reach 3.1k with the enchant and major sorcery. So that's from our entropy, which I'll show you in a sec. So we do have really excellent stats here. If we now go on to the skills, but the main bit really is the champion points. None is better with a CP passive. None gives 3/6. Reinforced gives that. No, none gives you base armor, mate. But anyway, sorry, we go reinforced on the shield. So we want to go Burning Embers on the first skill. This is an insane skill, one of the most overpowered skills in my books. It's so cheap, it gives us enormous heal. It's a brilliant dot. I really underuse this at the moment. I'm just trying to practice the DK, but it is an incredibly good skill. It's basically your bread and butter on a DK. We're using Flame Lash. This one gives us the proc for the extra damage and the heal. It's really good base damage. It's really brilliant. And then we have Igneous Shield. Igneous Shield is for our stamina sustain and also a small damage shield. And it gives us Major Mending to increase our heal ward heal. Flame Lash Shield and Burning Ember Shields. It's a great skill. We're now using Burning Talons. This is our root for our banner. And it's also an excellent dot. It gives us a root that procs the proc from our lash. It's brilliant for that. And finally, we have Wings. I like Wings on this bar because I like to play most of my time on this bar. I only switch to my other bar if I really need to heal all the buffs. Finally, we have Shifting Standard. Now, this is a brilliant ulti. So underused in my opinion. It costs 200 ulti, which people would say expensive. But honestly, in Bloodspawn, I have no problem reaching it. And it does a really large dot. It reduces their healing, and I can move it. And that's something excellent. I can keep this ulti up for 17 seconds, so 16 seconds. After 16 seconds, I'm going to replace it somewhere else where it needs to go. By replacing, we have so much uptime on this banner that by the time it's gone, we're basically on the next banner. So we're keeping an ulti down so much time, and we just use the wings if anyone's in range. If they're in the banner, we're going to root them, we're going to petrify them, and we're going to put out our damage big time. And our damage is strong in this. We have huge penetration. We go on to our resto bar. We are running Engulfing Flames. Now you'll notice I'm not using Deep Breath. It is a great skill. I really haven't found space for it, and I'm absolutely loving this Flames for the extra dot and more importantly the extra damage from the flame. We want to be putting a lot of damage in. We're playing this as a high damage build, so honestly Flames is the way to go in my opinion. If you want Deep Breath you could swap it here certainly, but I think I prefer the Flames. We're running Entropy. That's just our major spell power buff. You'll notice it isn't morphed. You probably want to go for the heal over time 1. I actually don't even know what the morphs are. I just haven't leveled this skill yet, so yeah, rip. And then we are using Healing Ward. That's our base heal. It's a damage shield. It's excellent. You may have problems with Jesus Beamers if people are spamming Jesus Beam, but that's going to screw you over anyway. Same as Madden with Templars. It's just overpowered as it is. So just kind of ignore that if you're going 1vx. Endures, it's great. Petrify. We morph this to Fossilize, which gives us a root. This is another great way of proccing our whip. And it's also a nice CC. And finally, we are running Volatile Armor for the resistances and a dot. This is an excellent skill. You want to keep this up 100% of the time because this is how we're keeping our resistances strong. Finally, we're running Devouring Swarm. I have considered actually swapping this to Soul Assault for an even cheaper ulti. That way I have an ulti that's real panic because honestly, most of the time when I'm reaching the Swarm, I can reach my banner. I would say I've only used this in 1vx once or twice compared to my banner, which I've used 30-40 times. So honestly, I think I prefer this. I think the last thing I have to explain is my champion point. So this is where things get interesting because there's a lot of weird passives we're unlocking. In the green tree, we're just pumping most into magic reduction. You'll notice it's only 95. I did put a couple of points elsewhere. We have 48 in here for recovery and 2 in tenacity to increase from the heavy attacks. That's just in case I go low on. We can heavy attack with the resto for the Magicka. 2 points is such a huge increase compared to the massive point. If we stuck 1 in here, we gain like 0.1%. So the extra 2% in here is kind of worth it in my opinion. And then we have 22 in Shadow Ward for the reduction in cost in blocking. 22 scales, great. 1, 2, 6, 13, and 22 point scales, really good in champion points. If we go in the blue tree, we have a real mix now. We've got 41 in spell erosion. This is giving us a lot of spell penetration. I played around with this and I really love that spell penetration. I think it's very strong. We got 13 and 13 here. Like I said, 13 is a good number for the healing and the crit damage and heals. Obviously our heal ward can crit, our heals can crit, and we can crit with our damage even despite the impen. And we have 78 in elemental expert for our base damage. We go for it. I haven't put any in here at all. And we have 22 in firm touch for the dots. Now DK has a lot of dots. I have considered putting more, but honestly I can't find a way to move those points. We have 22 in crit resist. We do have a lot of impens, so we're stacking a lot of crit resist. It's kind of strong. And then we move on to the last tree, because I'll come back onto that. We have 70 in Bastion. Some people are going to say, what are you doing with that Bastion? We're running Heal Ward and Ignis Shield. I want to get these shields pretty good, because I want to be able to rely on them a lot more. This tree is more down to preference. It's up to you where you move that, whether you put it more into crits, but I found this very effective. But here is the interesting tree, with 13 in Dots, 40 in Hardy, and 22 in Elemental Defender. And this gives us 75 in the Lady. This gives us Shield Expert, which increases the armor of equipped shields by 75%. This is just so overpowered a passive. It's so good. It makes us have so much resistance to light armor. So that is a must-have. You should have 75 points in there. In my opinion, it's really super good on one-hand shield. Potion-wise, I'm mostly just running Essence of Health for the try. Obviously, as a DK, I'm using all my resources evenly. I do also use Essence of Detection if I do need it. If you're really struggling with recovery, you could run Gold Food, but you're going to lose out on the battle, or I would say run the Purple Food. I don't think I missed anything. If I did miss anything, ask me in the chat. But guys, this has been the build video. This is working super good. I will release some 1vx clips with this. DK is not unplayable. Welcome back, DK. It's time for action. I'll be releasing a DK 1vx video very soon, guys. I'll see you guys later. Thank you for tuning in.